All right, guys. Today is April 6th, 2016, and this is All the Leads Role Play Call number 7. And as I said before we started recording, my partner Jim Sullivan is usually on these calls. He can't make it today. We had too many things going on. So my name is Chad Corbett. I'm your host, one of the co-founders and the trainer here at All the Leads. The format here, we're in question and answer mode. So anyone who wants to role play, please press *6 and then 1. So you'll press *6, it will prompt you, and then you can press 1. And no real format here. This is your all's call. We want to hear, what are you getting stuck somewhere on the phones? What do you need help with? If you have a question about language or conversation structure, anything like that. So we don't really have a preset agenda for this. So I'm relying on you guys to jump in, raise your hand. Don't be afraid. If you're brand new, no question's a bad question. So whether you're brand new or a seasoned phone person, please jump in and let us know what you need help with. Otherwise, it'll just be me here telling you stories about my dog. All right, we got somebody. 760, you are up. Seven 760. Now you should be open. All right. I'll keep trying here. I'm not sure. 760, your line's open. I'm not sure what's happening. I cleared you out. 760. If you can try to come back in, press *6 and then 1. I had unmuted you, but I couldn't hear. You're back. Okay. Hopefully this works. 760. You're open. What is going on? All right, guys. So I've got an obvious glitch happening here. I keep muting out the questioner, and it's not opening the line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you guys to please, if you're in a loud environment, please mute your phone. I'm going to leave the question and answer mode so we can all have a discussion here, rather than me fumbling with this technology. So if you're driving or in a loud environment, please mute your line. I'm going to open up everybody. Okay, so everybody can speak now, but 760 had a question, and I wasn't able to open your line. Are you there? Okay, well, we've got a quiet line, so hello, everybody. If anybody has any questions.
I got a question, Chad.
I have a question. All right. You guys figure out who goes first.
Go on, you go first. I've been making phone calls on my first list, and what I'm getting as a response is people are telling me, I'm getting a bunch of letters from all kinds of people, and I've had several people call me already. So I'm trying to figure out how to try and overcome that a little bit.
I usually try to make a joke. So not many people are doing direct mail the way we suggest you do direct mail, and that's the reason I'm so adamant about using an A8, which is a greeting card envelope with a handwritten address and a live first-class stamp. It's a very memorable mail piece, and it's one that gets opened pretty much 100% of the time. So if someone says, we've got, and I actually have one of these, believe it or not, it was just 2 days ago. We have the appointment tomorrow. They were from my November 2014 list, and they called me first, and they said, we've gotten blue postcards and yellow postcards and letters from realtors with RE/MAX logos, and I didn't think I had realtor competition, but I apparently do now. So they had a whole coffee table full of letters, and they called me first. Mine came in a pastel greeting card envelope with a hand address and a live stamp. Something resonated with them. So I usually crack a joke if they don't know which letter was mine, if I'm doing an outbound call, like, oh, well, you probably remember mine because you probably thought it was a birthday card, and you might have been a little bit disappointed, but do you remember reading that one? And I'll just try to lightly remind them, what my mail piece looked like and see if they read it. And if they didn't, then I'll quickly say, okay, no worries. Let me just real quick, I'll tell you what we do. We actually have a real estate team built specifically to help people in your situation. And the reason we reached out is we pull public records and just try to reach out and see if there's any way we can help. And you didn't say, Mr. Smith, is there a home in the estate that you guys would like to, look at the options on, or you're thinking about selling? And I'll just jump right into the conversation. Typically, your competitor's mail is going to be kind of a we buy houses type message, or a kind of a me real estate agent message, where our letters are more talking about, direct marketing. We're directly addressing a problem you have and offering multiple solutions. So your mail piece is probably going to differentiate you if they read it or if you can get them to read it. But don't get lost in that. I've role played with a lot of folks, and I've heard people get lost, because the seller will take you down a rabbit hole. They'll be like, I don't remember that letter. What color? What was the envelope like? Oh, let me look. So I've learned to just say, you know what, just forget that. Never mind. I'm Chad. Here's what I do, and here's what I can do for you to start the conversation.
Yeah, because I know it's a numbers game, and eventually you're gonna hit one. But I wasn't expecting this amount of competition. I didn't think that many people were doing it, but I guess they are.
Yeah, California is you're in California?
No, I'm in Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida? So this is something that, we kind of pioneered this in the realtor space. But investor gurus have been teaching this for years. And it's been a very, kind of a me, we buy houses kind of approach. And we decided to bring it to the real estate professional community and teach people how to provide real value kind of as a community service. So that you're going to have a lot of competition in competitive markets from investors, but they usually have a very one-sided message. We can pay you 60, 70 cents on the dollar for your house. So that's
so you think the majority of these people are like the We Buy Houses crowd then?
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
Very, very few real estate agents are working in this space, and that'll change. You're going to have in 5 years, because FSBO is dried up, expireds are dried up. Realtors are hungry. Good listing agents are hungry and looking for new things. And this is one of those niches. We're in the very beginning of massive 40-year period of wealth transfer. So you're going to, people are going to hear about this at conferences. Coaches are going to start talking about it. We're just lucky, all of us, that they're doing it right now. We're lucky to be on the front end of it. And that's good. Competition forces you, right? Like, you'll learn to do a better job and provide a higher level of service. But right now, you're just competing with typically investors. And that's why we on all the letters.
I'll use that as an angle. I'll say this, and you're probably getting the majority of letters from people that just want to lowball you as investors. I'm actually a full-service team that's here to try and help you through the whole process. So I'll use that.
Yeah. So, and on our letters, we in there, it's a quick cash offer if the situation calls for it. So you want to highlight the fact, well, I can, all those letters, I can do that. I've got, I work with a dozen buyers that can close quickly cash. We've got 12 guys that can do that, but that's not really why I called Mr. Smith, and that might be one option. But what we want to do is understand your situation and your goals, and then show you that option and other options. And that's how the conversation went with the one that I referenced earlier. They were expecting me to just be a real estate agent. And I think that's because they said, well, we've got a real estate agent that we've worked with for 40 years, and she's coming over, and she's going to prepare an appraisal for us. And I'm like, oh, is that right? But I said, well, let me help you understand what we do. We're actually, we're real estate professionals. So we're going to look at your situation, your goals, and then we're going to give you options. We're going to show you what this looks like as a cash deal, like all those postcard guys. And we're going to show you what it looks like as a business. You don't put any money into it. And we're also going to show you what it would look like if we were to completely rehab the house and sell it at top retail value. And then at the end of the day, Mr. Seller, you need to make a choice. Are you going to work with us, or are you going to work with somebody else in the pile at the table? I think you'll be impressed with when you see the options we can provide and the expertise we bring. I doubt any one of those letters will be as transparent as we will be with you. And I don't care how we work together. I just like to work together because I know we can help you. And the conversation changed completely from there. Like, you could just they immediately that built rapport. And he's like, well, let me tell you about the house. And he completely dropped his guard and started spewing details about the whole story of the house, how he had kept the air conditioning on, the heat was on, he replaced the air conditioner. And we had a 30-minute conversation. It's great, and I'm going on the appointment tomorrow. So find ways to really use that competition to differentiate yourself.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, I was the other question. The problem that I'm having here, and I am in California, is I'm getting so many of these that are underwater still, and the attorneys are just telling them, just send it back. Just send the keys back to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to them then?
Do you have experience with short sales?
Tons of experience. We did short sales and REOs forever. My partner and I have been doing it for 27 years. But and I tell them we could do the short sale, but my word over their attorney's word, they're taking their attorney's.
Well, I think you've got to find the emotional benefit of doing the short sale. So an attorney is going to say, it's very cut and dry. You have no liability. Hell with it. Let it go. But if you can say, do you really want to let your mom and dad's house just go and maybe sit there for 12 months, get in worse condition? Who knows what's going to happen? Or would you like us to do the right thing, to help you sell it to a family? It's going to be a short sale. It's going to take a little bit longer, but we can at least have some control over the situation. Can you see where that would make a difference, Mr. Sellers? That's the only thing I could say, because really, it's pretty easy to walk away from an underwater and hairstyle.
Is there any way to get the executor, or if anyone has been successful in getting the executor any cash out of a short sale?
I've never done one in a probate scenario. I would say that you probably could. So I've helped sellers do strategic default. And I had one, the guy had $80,000 in the bank and owned 2 other houses, and he walked away with $3,000 in hard money. So I was just kind of blown away. I'm like, there's no way they're giving him this, because we short sold a second home, like a townhome rental property, and they gave it to him. So I'm constantly surprised by short sales and how illogical some of them are. So I would say that there's a good chance you could get it. Especially if one of the heirs was living in the home, I would say there's a real good chance you could get it.
And then if you could get that, then you could also get the attorney's fees too, wouldn't you think?
Possibly.
I'm just trying to think how I'd get the attorney on my side.
Right. Well, I'll tell you how you can get the attorney out of the picture in your state. If the executor, the personal representative, if they petition the court for full power when they file probate, then they don't need court approval or the attorney's participation to do what they want with the assets. So if you feel like it's in your client's interest to do the short sale, you can help them, approach the probate court and get, petition for full power. And then they can do as they want, if you can show them the benefits of the short sale.
All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking, but I just wanted to see if you had any success with it. But, no, thank you very much. Can I ask another question really quick?
Sure.
This is regarding the voice system. We started using it, but so how many different scripts do you use, or do you just use the same one over and over again? This is I basically use yours verbatim.
Anytime I leave a voicemail, and I learned this, I'll say too late in my sales career, I always try to get my value proposition out on voicemail, and that is such a wrong thing to do. The only point of the voicemail is to get the phone to ring back. So I've learned to really shorten down my message and leave a lot of curiosity there. So, hey, Bill, this is Chad. I sent you a letter last week just following up to make sure you got that and understood why we sent it. Give me a shout back when you have a chance, 555-1234. And that's it. And
Okay.
I've gotten more callbacks off of that. And really the only point of that message, it's not to sell your service, not to differentiate yourself. It's to highlight the fact that you've already reached out, the ball's in their court, and you've got something to talk about, call me. And then when the phone rings, you get your value proposition out and sell. So that's just a really brief message. Hey, this is Chad. I sent you a letter. Wanted to make sure you got it and you understood why I sent it. Give me a call.
That's pretty close to what the one that you have on the website says. A little shorter, though. I like it a little shorter, especially since it costs the money.
And we're constantly changing things. I don't know which one I have up there, but that's the one that's worked best for me. Shorter is better.
Hi, this is Tasha. I sent you.
Thank you very much.
Later.
Does somebody have a question? No? Okay.
Well, if no one has any other questions, I have another one about emails. Do you have a company that you're successfully getting emails from?
Not that we're happy with yet, so we haven't rolled it out to you guys. It's looking like possibly midsummer. It's something that, and this is not, it's one of those things. You got to be careful how you use email addresses if you're bulk emailing. So we want to make sure that we've got a credible source of good emails that aren't all going to end you up on a blacklist and ruin your IP. So it's something we're working on, but we're being very careful about.
Hi, this is Dave.
Right now, Bob is on the phone that talking at the beginning. He's had really good success using. Bob, are you using Spokio or Intellius?
I'm using Intellius, and I actually the first thing I do is go to the California Bar Association, look for the attorneys. Many of the attorneys they don't like to give out their email addresses, but about 2/3 of them have their email address on the California Bar Association search list. And I look there first, and then I actually call the office of the attorney and ask because I usually get the receptionist, and I say, hey, I got some probate information I need to send over the XYZ attorney, but I can't find the email address here. She says, oh, she gives it to me. Take the phone call to the attorney's office to get it. Now, the actual I haven't been sending any emails to the people. I just think my efforts are better spent at the attorney.
Bob, where in California are you?
I'm in Southern California, Orange County.
Southern California?
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this is a role play call. And any questions on language, conversation structure, what to say, when to say it, why to say it, anything you've gotten stumped on, objections you're hearing? Any fears? Like, has anyone not gotten on the phone because you're afraid? And why?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wanting to know, how do you work with, like, estate sales people?
How do you work with estate sales? Can you be more specific?
You know, like if they've got, maybe they're doing the estate sale, or you could actually team up with them.
With the estate sale company, you mean?
Yes, sir.
So that's one of the partners that we recommend you have on your team. The estate sale company can be very valuable in that they can send you referrals, but also they can create a lot of value in your business. So one of the things we say, well, Mr. Seller, one of the services we provide, we can bring in a estate sale company, get the personal property cleaned out and sold for the highest amount of money. If you don't want to be involved, you don't have to lift a finger. So it's a huge value layer for you. And then for the estate sale company, you're sending them referrals. You're talking directly to their ideal clients. So you can refer those clients to them, and then they can reciprocate. When they meet a family that you haven't spoken to, they can say, oh, my gosh, you need to talk to our real estate professional. He's the best. And they can send you referrals. If you don't have an estate sale company right now, it's a great website. It's called Estate Sales, plural, estatesales.net. and they've got a search tool, like a map search tool. It's really, really cool. You can find usually multiple estate sale companies in any market.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Any questions on language, scripts, objections, anything like that we can role play? Anybody want to role play?
I got another one. Is there a certification? I know somebody said there's a certification out there.
We do have a certified probate expert certification, and that's a result of the probate mastery. Right now, I'm doing probate mastery 1, and we're doing it in a webinar format, kind of a group call. We do this. I haven't set the date for March. We've got a pretty crazy March. In the next few days, you can see the announcement for that. You can sign up. We're doing like Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Maybe April. I'm sorry.
April. I'm still in March. If you can't tell, it's the second time. Yeah. So the April class will be in the next couple of weeks. The announcement should be out pretty soon, next few days.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, nobody has anything that they want to role play.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, I have a question. I was the one that was trying to ask a question earlier, the 760. For some reason, I was on my office line. It just was not working, so I switched over to my cell phone. I guess the cell phone's working.
We've got you
now.
So,
my name is Kim Camarada, and I work the San Diego County area, and I'm new to this. And so I was just wondering, what would be like a good opening line when you make the first initial phone call? Because it sounds like a lot of people already contacting these people, and they're getting inundated. So do you recommend, is there a script in the alllead.com in there somewhere that I can maybe look up? Or?
So there are only a couple of scripts in there, and that's something that I wrote for a very specific purpose for somebody. I'm not a fan of scripts.
Okay.
I think scripts create bad habits. What I am a fan of is giving you kind of a conversation framework that you can follow and develop your own questions in your own language. It's going to be more authentic. It's going to sound more professional if you do it that way. So if you go under step 5 of subscriber resources, you'll see a document called the Probate Seller Interview Sheet. And it's in Microsoft Excel format because you might not like the way I laid it out and you might want to change it. Perfect. That's what I encourage you to do. But I start the conversation. I want to get what I call a probate USP, or your unique selling proposition. And you want to establish who you are, how you got their information, what unique value you can provide, and then I always end on a question. And I'll just run through that first part real quick. I don't talk about the house. I don't talk about the address. I want to know about the people, the motivation, and that there's actually a house for sale. So in the beginning, and we typically will get inbound calls. Hi, this is Chad. Somebody says, hey, you sent me this letter talking about buying a house or this or that. So you'll thank them for their call always. Well, listen, thanks so much for your call. I'm really glad you reached out. As you saw in the letter, I mean, we specialize in helping people in your situation. So whether that means, bringing you a quick cash offer today, or helping you get the personal property cleaned out and sold for the highest amount, or even just, getting some small repairs all the way to a full rehab done. We've got a team in place that can help with any and all aspects. And where we start, Joe, is really understanding the family situation and your goals, and then helping you decide on an option. We'll provide some options and help you decide which one's going to be best. But by the way, you didn't say, is there a home in the estate that you guys are thinking about selling or would like to learn more about the options on? And I'll always end on that question. So I've thrown a lot of stuff at the guy. He knows who I am, how I got his information, what value I can bring. And in people's minds, when they're most people aren't very good listeners. So when you're talking, they're thinking about what they're going to say next. So the reason I always end on a question is because I need to change his mental state. I want him to digest what I just told him, and then he needs to answer my question. Is there a house for sale? And if the answer is no, then I'll make it a branding opportunity. I'll thank him, remind him to hang on to the letter, because in case somebody else knows to use our service, and I'll move on. If the answer is yes, then I'll engage in the conversation about the house, who the decision makers are, what's the dynamic of decision makers, and move into a longer conversation. That probate seller interview will help you follow that progression, and it's just top to bottom. You can kind of go down and follow that.
So you ask them if they have a house they want to sell.
That's what I want the answer to. There's different ways you can ask it that are depending on the personality type, and you kind of have to use your judgment. I ask it, is there a home that you guys would like to to explore options on? Is there a home you've thought about selling? Is there any property in the estate? Do you guys have a plan for that? So there's a lot of different ways you can ask it to get based on how warm the conversation is, what their personality type is. You just have to use your judgment. I really like that last one. I really like, is there any property in the estate, and do you guys have a plan for that? Is there any property in the estate that I could help you guys look at options on? So you'll find different ways to ask it, but end on that question.
Okay. So you don't recommend contact the attorney first. You recommend contact the executor?
Yes, it's gonna be easier to reach the executor. The attorney likely has a real estate agent he's referred business to for quite some time, so that's a slower. You've got to build those relationships and really show that attorney how you can do a better job with whoever you've been sending them to. So it's typically easier to reach the executors and easier to get them to see the value in your service than it is the attorneys. But I'm not saying don't market to attorneys. Bob is a great example. I mean, he jumped in with both feet. He's going after attorneys, and he's doing really well with it. So it's a great way to kind of double your surface area. But if you're only going to make one phone call, I would pick the executor over the attorney. Longer term, the attorney's a better relationship because he can send you multiple deals over your career. So definitely don't ignore them.
Okay, so then if they're in probate court, they don't have to use the recommendation from the attorney, the real estate professional. So the executive can choose who they want to work with?
Correct.
Okay.
So the more probate attorneys who understand who you are and how you do business and what value you bring to executives, and really what you want the attorney to understand is how you can clear a file off their desk quicker and assure him that you'll sell the asset for the most money possible. So it's time and money, right? And these guys, they get more files every day. So when you're speaking with attorneys, think about, okay, how can I demonstrate how I can sell homes quicker for more money, so his business benefits and the executive's benefits, family benefits.
Okay. So then what would be a good opening dialogue if you decided to call the attorney?
If I were you're typically going to hit a gatekeeper. And Bob, feel free to jump in here since you've been doing this, but you're typically going to hit a gatekeeper, receptionist, and her job is to be the guardian of the billable hours. That her boss works $250 to $500 an hour. So I would reference a docket number and the estate of. I would say, hey, this is Jane Doe. I'm calling regarding the estate of Mary Smith. The docket number is 12345. In case you need that, is Attorney Joe in? And see if you can get through. Make it sound official. Make it sound like you're already working on the file with Joe, and see if you get. And if you get through, hey Joe, this is Jane Doe. I was just calling. I noticed that you're the executor on the Mary Smith estate, and I've been trying to reach Mary, but I want to introduce myself. We've got a real estate team built specifically for helping people in Mary's situation. And I just wanted to make sure you knew who we were and understood, what we do for our clients. We can do, help bring. We have quick cash offers, which I'm sure you have investors, but we work with a lot of investors. Our contractors, we have vetted contractors and clean out crews and estate sale companies. So we can really take a lot of this off of your plate and handle this with the family, so you don't have to do it. And who are your real estate referrals to right now, Joe? And it's kind of the same thing. So you want to establish, why you called Joe, what unique value you can bring to his business, in the way of options, of services you can provide to his clients. And then end on a question. By the way, who are you sending your referrals to right now? And do the same thing. Just turn it. It's just a little. It's a B2B conversation, but run kind of that same structure. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of experience with attorneys because I'm in Virginia, and attorneys don't handle estates here. So, Bob, I know you've been talking to attorneys. If you want to step in and help out, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Well, this is Bob, and yeah, the attorneys are used a lot here in Southern California, and getting through the gatekeeper is a big deal. Trying to get their email, I try to do from the gatekeeper, but my recommendation is face-to-face. Go to the attorney's office and take your flyer and your proposal in and try to take 5 minutes of his time. It's so much better when they actually can tie a face to your business card. And
that's true. That's a really good point. The people who have jumped into attorney marketing early definitely had a lot more success on office visits than we have anything else. It's better than direct mail. It's better than phone calls.
So you recommend making an appointment or just show up on them?
Most everybody I know that's been really successful they've just dropped by and said, hey, I'm looking for Joe Smith. He's representing the estate of Mary Jones. Just wanted 5 minutes, and usually 5 minutes turns into either a lunch appointment or a longer conversation somewhere down the line. And that's we've had a client in Florida that had really good success with that. Bob in California, Jeff in Ohio had really good success with it. So it's definitely out of your competition's comfort zone. It's probably out of your comfort zone. That means it's probably one of the most important things you can do because very few people are going to be doing that.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
Well, we're almost at the end here. Any other things you need help with? Anybody? Okay. Well, as always, guys, anytime you're stuck, you can use help. You want to role play, you need anyone to look at, if you do want to write scripts, need people to review those, anything we can do to help you get more comfortable with the conversations you're having. You can always email support@alltheleads.com. It will probably end up on my desk, and I'll probably call you, and we'll do one-on-one. So, again, anything that we can help with, support@alltheleads.com. Thanks so much for coming today, guys, and make it a great day.